Christmas! I'm saying Happy Christmas because that's what the British people say. And Merry Christmas doesn't make much sense. I mean, you say Happy Halloween, Happy Thanksgiving, Happy Easter, Happy Birthday, Merry Christmas. Why? I do not know. So, Happy Christmas. So, here is what's happening. I wrote a Christmas story in November because I really wanted to write a Christmas story, and so I did. I'm gonna give it to you. I am giving you my Christmas story. I'm gonna read it to you. I'm not gonna do any voices because I'm not good, and it makes them cheesier by trying to do voices. So what I've done is I've created characters on The Sims, and there's just gonna be pictures of the characters when those people are talking so that it's not confusing. And I'm gonna read it in 2 parts because it's not super long, but it's kind of long for me to read it and for you to listen to it all in one go, I think. So I'm going to put the first part up today, and the second part is gonna go up tomorrow. So I hope you enjoy. And yeah. Chapter 1. The cold wind coming in through the open door is what I notice first. I don't even hear the bell ringing as it swings all the way open, and I don't hear it bang against the wall like it does every single windy day. I only look up when I notice the cold air hasn't seemed to disappear, and when I do, there's no one there. I set my book on the counter, making a note of what page I was on, and step around the cache to see what made the door open. Turns out there is someone there, I just didn't see him as he's bending down in front of a bookcase. Oh, there's paper all over the floor. Sorry, he says without looking up. I step over the open binder and paper strewn across the floor to shut the door behind him. I tuck my hands into the sleeves of my sweater and wrap my arms around myself, already feeling like it's going to take forever for me to warm up now. It's okay, I say. Do you need any help? But just as I ask, I notice that he's picking up the last of his things, although he hasn't put the papers back into his binder very neatly. I got it. He stands up, his binder and papers under his arm, and gives me the warmest smile I have ever seen. It must be because it's across the most beautiful face I have ever seen. Who is this wonderful guy who just walked into my parents' bookstore? I haven't seen him at school, so I hope he isn't a lot older than me. He looks like he could be in his first year of college, and then we'd only be a year apart, so that would be good. I'm too nervous to ask him, though, so I just stand there like an idiot. He takes his red toque off, revealing his black hair underneath, flat in some parts and sticking up in other parts. Man, this guy can even make Hat-Head look good. Sorry, I'm being rude, I say, hoping my voice doesn't sound too stupid. What were you looking for? Directions. Oh. My heart sinks a little. I was really hoping this gorgeous guy was looking for a book to buy, preferably a book I've already read and loved. He smiles again and plays with his toque in his hands, twisting it in different directions. I'm in town with my parents for a while, and we separated to go Christmas shopping, but now I have no idea where I am. He pulls his cell phone out of his back pocket and looks at it, then at me. I can't get any reception. Yeah, cell reception sucks pretty hard here. He just nods. What are you in town for? I ask. My dad's work. We don't usually go along with him, but this thing's going until the new year, so we tagged along. You know, to be together for the holidays. Sounds nice. Where did you need to go? 289 5th Street. We're in some little basement apartment my dad's work got us. It's actually pretty nice, though. Oh, that's not far. If you just take a left at the set of lights up there, I start, pointing him in the right direction. You take that 3 blocks, and then that's 5th Street. I think you'll want to go right on 5th Street to get to 289. Thanks. He puts his toque back on and turns back towards the door. Wait, I say, really hoping not to make a fool of myself. If you're gonna be in town for a while, and, you don't know anyone, I could show you around if you want. Sure. I'd ask for your cell phone number, but I don't think texting's gonna work. I smile. Just add me to Facebook. I'm Amber. I might need a last name there, Amber. I laugh a little, but manage to keep it light and not so embarrassing. Orwell. Amber Orwell. That's got a nice ring to it. He winks at me and leaves. Just like that. Chapter 2. I can't get this guy out of my head. I can't even focus on my book anymore. I set my book on the counter and look around the quiet store. I still have no idea why my parents insist on having it open until 9 o'clock on Friday nights. Like, really, who goes book shopping on a Friday night? Well, okay, I would, but I'm not most people. Most people party on Friday night. Or at least go to the movies. What they don't do is browse for books. I wish I could just close up, but my parents will know and I'll get into trouble. Not that I can really get into that much trouble anyway. I mean, my idea of fun is reading a book in bed until 2 o'clock in the morning, so they can't do much to punish me. They could take away my books, but that's like taking away someone's homework, so they don't. I still don't close the store, though. I can't bear the thought of them being disappointed in me. That's just the worst. Why didn't Mr. Gorgeous Guy tell me his name? He said that my name had a nice ring to it, and then left. Well, no, he winked at me and left. Why did he wink? Was that flirting? Was he flirting with me? I try to pick my book up again, but after I reread the same sentence over 6 times, I sigh and look at my phone instead. It's so much easier to focus on things like Tumblr or Pinterest at a time like this. Hello? I hear. I look up from my phone to see a frazzled-looking woman in the middle of the store. I didn't hear the bell at the top of the door again. But it's weird that I didn't notice the cold air rush in this time. I must be distracted, thinking about that good-looking guy who's hopefully no more than a year older than me. Okay, so he could be 2 years older, and I would still be okay with that. Hi, sorry, I say, getting up. Are you looking for a specific book? She smiles and shakes her head, taking a deep breath before speaking. I'm actually looking for a book for my niece, but she isn't really into reading. Oh, trying to convert her? Her laugh is warm and kind, and I've decided that I really like her. I guess you could say that. She isn't really opposed to reading, she just hasn't had the urge to pick up a book. I do want her to enjoy reading, but I think I need help finding the right one for her. One that will make her realize reading is fun. She smiles and seems to be less stressed out already than when she first walked in. Okay, well, how old is she? I ask. 13. Okay, so probably something from the teen section then. What kind of movies does she like? Harry Potter and Divergent. And I know that those are both already books, but I don't think she'll be interested in reading them if she's already seen the movie. Yeah, I think that's common for most 13-year-olds. Maybe something that hasn't been made into a movie. Something not quite so popular, so she can form her own opinion on it without other people's influence. She smiles again. You're smart. Huh, thanks. You say that like you don't hear that a lot. Not really. Not from customers, at least. Get a lot of snobs, eh? More than you would think, I laugh. Oh, she might like this one. I pick up a blue hardcover, the first in an unfinished trilogy. There are 2 books out right now, and the last one is supposed to come out in March. It's about a 14-year-old girl who finds out that she's part fae. That's the cool name for fairy. And it's about her discovering the world and what she can do, and there's a cute guy. I shrug. It's really easy to get into, and the language is simple, but not dumbed down. I think for someone who isn't into reading, it's the perfect book to get them started with. Definitely easy to get lost in the world, and it's really a lot of fun. She carefully takes the book from me and looks at it, opens it, and reads the inside flap. This sounds wonderful. Thank you so much. My pleasure. After the customer leaves, I smile and sit back down. I pick up my phone and see that I have a Facebook notification, so I open the app to see if someone has commented on my last picture or something. Oh my god, I have a friend request! Is it that guy from earlier? His name is Anthony White. I click on the name, and his profile pic is just a cool picture of out-of-focus Christmas lights, so I'm not even sure if it's him. I accept anyway, and wait to see if he messages me. Sure enough, about 8 seconds later, my phone beeps. I open the messaging app to read his message. Hi. Aw, how cute. I type back, not able to keep a smile off my face. Hi. I'm Anthony, by the way. Hi, Anthony. Hi, Amber. Happy face. Then I type something else. So you made it home okay? Yep. My parents aren't back yet. So what are you doing then? Watching Netflix. You? Oh, you know, selling books. Only good ones, I hope. I don't even allow the bad ones on the shelf. I smirk and notice the time in the corner of my phone, and that it's 2 minutes to 9. Yes! Closing time. I hop off my chair and practically leap over the counter, run through the aisles of books to lock the door, and turn off the fluorescent open sign. I take my time counting the cash and bringing the till to the safe. Not that it really matters, since there's hardly any money in it anyway. Once everything's put away and tidied up, I grab my phone and my book, shove them in my purse, and make my way to the door. I step on something by the door that makes a crinkly sound, so I look down, and there under my shoe is a piece of paper. I bend down to pick it up and try to read the handwriting scrawled across it. It's really messy, and I can't really read it. Is this from Anthony's binder? I shrug and shove it in my purse. I'll ask him about it later. I step outside, and the cold bites at my face, and the wind rips right through my sweater. But I'm only outside for about 6 seconds because we live over the bookshop, and the door is, right there. I lock the bookshop door and walk the 12 steps to our door, which is an ugly green metal door that looks like it leads to a garbage chute or something. Once I step inside, though, the warm air greets me right away, and the vanilla smell from my plug-in air freshener is making the whole stairway entry seem very inviting. I turn the deadbolt behind me and stomp up the concrete stairs. The door at the top, which leads to our actual apartment, is much nicer. It's a nice cherry wood and has a window and a Christmas wreath hanging on it. I like it. I turn the handle and step into the dark apartment, fumbling around to find the light switch. My fingers finally find it, and the living room lights up with a warm glow. I toss my shoes off and cross the living room to the Christmas tree. I plug in the lights and let the colorful glimmering warm me up inside. My phone beeps, so I take it out of my pocket to see that Anthony has messaged me again. "Are you excited for Christmas?" "No," I reply. "What? What kind of person are you? LOL. I love Christmas time better than actual Christmas. I love the twinkly lights and the music and wrapping presents. Christmas Day just means it's all over." Cute. I try. I can feel my cheeks getting hot. At least he's not here to see. Then I type another message. "Hey, did you leave one of your papers behind?" "Oh, I don't know. What's it look like?" Messy writing. Probably mine. You can't read it, can you? "No." "Good. Why? Why would it be bad if I could read it?" "Would just be embarrassing, I guess." "Okay." I immediately pull the paper out of my purse and try to make out some of the writing. It's not that it's messy, it's that it's so scripty, it's hard to read through all the swirls. Who writes like this? I squint at the page and try my best to make out at least some of the words, but it starts to give me a headache. What does that say? Does that say Rudolph? I can't try to read it anymore, so I fold the paper up and put it back in my purse. It can't be that important anyway. He didn't even seem worried about it. I sink farther into the couch and turn on the TV, hoping there's a Christmas movie on. Chapter 3. My mom wakes me up by gently pulling my fuzzy blanket off me. I open my eyes and smile at her. "How was the store?" she asks as I sit up. I shrug. "Dad, how was your thing?" "Benefit, and it was lovely. Where's Dad?" "He's in bed already. Why don't you head off to bed too?" I nod and drag my feet down the hall to my bedroom. At least it's Saturday tomorrow when I don't have to work. I can sleep until forever. I wake up in the morning with my PJs stuck to me with sweat. Why is the heat up so high? I go into the hall to adjust the thermostat, and I see that the heat isn't even on. What the hell? "Mom?" I call down the hall. "Mom, what's wrong with the heat?" "I don't know, but it's so warm out. I had to turn the heat off. It's still hot in here, isn't it?" "What do you mean it's so warm out? It's December 20th. "I know, but the snow's gone and everything." "What?" I shriek, running to the window. Sure enough, the grass between the sidewalk and the road is very visible. Brown and dead, but certainly there, not covered in snow. "What's going on?" My mom shrugs. "Global warming, I guess." "But it was freezing out last night. It was -15 at least. How can it be warm enough today to melt the snow?" "Oh, it's warm enough to wear a t-shirt." "What?" I open the apartment door and run down the stairs on my sock feet, turn the deadbolt on the metal door, and swing it open to the outside, only to be hit with a wall of humidity. It's like August. How did this happen? It can't be hot out 5 days before Christmas. How are we going to make a snowman in front of the bookshop on Christmas morning? How will we make maple syrup toffee as a snack after opening presents? How will we be able to bundle up in our fleece pajamas without sweating to death? No! We live in Canada, and in Canada we have white Christmas, not bike shorts Christmas. I can't believe the weather, I messaged to Anthony later. I can. What? Why? It was bound to happen. That's why I'm here. What do you mean? I thought you were in town with your dad. Maybe we should go for a walk. I have a quick shower and throw on a cute t-shirt. I absolutely refuse to put on shorts, so I grab my favorite pair of jeans and pull them on. But halfway to 5th Street, they're already sticking to my legs, so I have to roll them up to my knees. I can't believe it's too hot for jeans in December. Anthony waves as he rounds the corner up ahead, coming in my direction. Even though he still looked wonderful yesterday with his hat head, his hair today is absolutely perfect. It's just long enough to cover his forehead and wing out a little bit over his ears. I wave back to him, and once we meet, I turn around and we continue walking back towards the bookshop. "So I didn't actually come here with my parents," Anthony says. "What do you mean? You're here by yourself?" He nods. "I'm working." "Doing what?" He shrugs and sticks his hands in the front pockets of his khaki shorts. Christmas stuff. Christmas stuff. Yeah, you seemed pretty into it all, so I guess I can tell you. Just people over 9 years old don't usually take it too well, so please don't hit me when I tell you. Okay, I say, trying not to laugh. I'm an elf. Like a North Pole elf? Mm-hmm. Your ears aren't pointy. Neither are my shoes. I smirk and try to think of a clever response, but nothing comes to me. So, he says, rolling his hands in front of him like he wants me to say something. So what? So what are your thoughts? On your shoes? I look at his worn skate shoes and shrug. I don't know. You could probably get a new pair soon. No, about me being an elf. Oh, right. That. Yeah, that. Man, I'm not good at this. I'm sorry. I really can't think of something funny to say to keep this going. Keep what going? The elf thing. Oh, right, okay, you don't believe me. I stop and raise my eyebrows at him. You actually thought that I believed you when you said you were an elf? He doesn't say anything. He only shrugs. I don't see why I would. I mean, first of all, you're, tall. And you don't have anything pointy. Or green. You're not even wearing green. Or red. What kind of elf doesn't wear Christmas colors? The kind in disguise. Chapter 4. Someone tell me why I've suddenly caught myself starting to believe this guy. What's wrong with me? An elf in disguise? Really? And what on earth would he even be here for? Making sure everyone has enough Christmas spirit? Give me a break. We're walking past the bookshop now, and I catch a glance of the crowd inside through the windows. There's a big display of children's Christmas and Hanukkah books blocking most of the view. I can still see over parts of the display that my parents are having trouble keeping everything in order. I mean, it's the last Saturday before Christmas, and we're the only bookstore in town. Of course it's going to be busy. I hurry past before they can see me, and decide not to go home so they can't try to call me to come in and help. I can just blame not getting their call on bad cell reception, so it's all good. It looks busy in there, Anthony comments. Yay, I can get extra presents this year. He nudges my shoulder and smiles. Don't you think your parents might want your help? No, they gave me the day off because they love me. And I love them, so I'm going to let them have all the fun without me. But how did we change the subject over to me so easily? Didn't you say you were from the North Pole? So you believe me now? I shrug. I'll humor you. Santa's stepbrother Carl. Santa has a stepbrother? I interrupt. Yeah. And his name is Carl? Yes. What's wrong with that? Nothing. Sorry. Keep going. Santa's stepbrother Carl got banished from the North Pole 130 years ago because he was jealous of everyone's love for Santa, so he wouldn't stop ruining the workshop and stuff. Every year he would try to ruin Christmas by destroying the toys or trapping the elves in closets or giving the reindeer sleeping pills, or you realize this all sounds ridiculous. You're not humoring me. Fine, I sigh. Continue. Anyway, Santa finally made the difficult decision to banish him so that he couldn't ruin Christmas. But somehow, by him living in the real world, his North Pole powers ended up transforming, and he could affect weather and make it impact how people thought about Christmas. Excuse me? He could change the weather, and when it did, it would impact people's view of Christmas. That's weird. Yeah, a little. Anyway, it took him a while to realize he had this power, and even longer to harness it, so he's only been doing it for the last few years. I've always caught him in enough time to save the day, and have it snow, or have whatever normally happens in that town on Christmas happen. The thing is, he can only affect one town at once, but he's getting stronger, and this year he's been harder to stop, as you can see. He raises his arms at his sides to show me that he's talking about the random heat wave. So, all those papers that you dropped in the store last night, that was... I trail off, waiting for him to step in and give me an answer. Just a bunch of research. Plans, ideas on how to stop him. I think what we need to do is just find a way to give the town some old-fashioned Christmas spirit. But we do have Christmas spirit. Really? You think everyone still feels the same about Christmas after they woke up to summer weather? Sure they do. Well, Carl's powers are more than just the weather, remember. They make people Scrooges about it. He makes bad weather and makes people bitter about it. If we don't stop him, no one will even wake up to Christmas morning to open stockings with their kids. If we don't stop him, Santa might not even be able to deliver to this town. Why not? Outside of the North Pole, Santa needs Christmas spirit of everyone around in order to use his magic. Without it, the reindeer can't fly, he can't fit down chimneys, or slow down time while he's traveling. How come Carl can do stuff without the influence of others? His magic evolved after being here for so long. Santa's magic would evolve too if he stayed here long enough, but then there wouldn't be Christmas anymore. There wouldn't be anyone making sure the toys were getting made. Plus, Carl doesn't have the same kind of magic that Santa has. He's only a stepbrother, remember. Who were his parents? Witches? Ha, probably. Fine. So what do we do? Chapter 5. First, we go around to all the local shops to get a feel for the town. What are people talking about, and what do they actually think of the hot weather? We step into the little grocery store and head straight for the frozen food section to cool off. There are a few people getting their non-perishables for Christmas now, and I try to listen in on some of the conversations. Well, I've always wanted to go somewhere tropical for Christmas, so this is sort of close to that, I guess. The woman laughs and throws her head back. Maybe after presents we can put the sprinkler out on the lawn for the kids. That sounds okay. That person isn't grouchy about the weather at all. But then my heart sinks when I hear her say the next part. My kids are already devastated, though. I mean, really, Christmas is for them, and they won't even have snow. They won't be able to go sledding before it gets dark. I couldn't get Gracie out of bed this morning, I hear someone else say. She says that Santa must not be real, or else he would have made it snow. I have to admit that even I was disappointed when I woke up this morning. I was more than disappointed. Christmas here has always been about the twinkly lights glowing on the sparkly snow. It's always been about snowmen and sledding and snow forts and mittens and coming home before dinner and being soaked to the bone from being in the snow all day. It was about rosy cheeks and chapped lips, sweaty hair from toques and pruny fingers from damp gloves. It was about warm fires with the snow falling outside the window and families coming into the warmth of the living room, brushing the snowflakes off their shoulders. It was about the crisp air when you couldn't close the door to say goodbye at the end of the night, and listening to the wind howl outside as you finally fell asleep, tired and exhausted and happy and warm. And now, instead, there are going to be sweaty armpits and shorts, stinky feet and flip-flops, kicking the covers off because it's just too hot to sleep, and then resorting to turning on the air conditioner. We make our way over to the toy store, where people are shopping for gifts, but I listen on their conversations too. I just can't believe it. I would have moved to Florida if I wanted to spend my Christmas sweating my butt off. Christmas just won't be the same this year. It doesn't even feel like Christmas anymore. I got fat since summer ended, and now my shorts are too tight. I had to shave my legs this morning. My beard's all itchy in this heat. I don't want to have the oven on all day to cook turkey if it's still hot like this on Christmas Day. Maybe we'll just order Chinese food. No! They can't order Chinese food. Christmas is about the turkey. Turkey and stuffing and potatoes. Gravy and more turkey and more potatoes and more stuffing and pumpkin pie. You can't have chop suey and chicken balls for Christmas dinner? No way! The voice of an irritated man startles me, and I look over to see him with 2 children, maybe aged 8 and 10. Stop it, he shouts. You 2 are getting on my nerves. Why can't you just stand quietly while we shop for your little sister? The older of the 2 boys sticks his tongue out at the younger one and laughs. You should pick out the present for her, since you're so girly. You can't be mean or Santa won't come, the younger one says. Santa's not coming anyway, Alex, can't you tell? He can still come if it's hot out. Nuh-uh, his sleigh will spark and cause fires on the pavement, stupid. I'm not stupid. Boys, the father shouts, grabbing them both by the arm. Santa won't come at all if you keep acting like this. I told you he's not coming, the older boy says again. Then let's find a present for your sister so she doesn't wake up with nothing on Christmas morning. The older boy shrugs. How can the father say that? He's supposed to make his son believe that Santa is coming, even if the boy doesn't believe it. But the father doesn't believe it either. No one does. Can't we just find Carl and ask him to stop? I ask Anthony in a whisper. No, I don't even know what Carl looks like. What? He's always hidden. He stays out of the spotlight. How do you know he was here then, like before the snow melted? Santa has an evil magicometer. Of course he does. I'm sweating too much from walking around town, and the even more disappointing part of the day is that we've concluded that everyone thinks Christmas is going to suck. What are we going to do? We can't let people refuse to cook their turkeys just so they don't sweat. We can't let kids cry over the fact that they can't build a snowman on Christmas Eve. We walk past the bookshop again, and it's still just as busy. I don't know why I stopped to look past the window display again, because as soon as I do, I immediately regret it. My dad spots me and beelines it to the door before I have a chance to run away. Hey, honey, do you think you could help us out a bit? Just until it dies down in here. I look at my dad with the biggest puppy dog eyes I can manage, but he just tilts his head at me. Please, he says, we would be so grateful. I look to Anthony for help, but he just smiles and says, it's okay, I can think of a plan while you're working. My dad sort of twists his eyebrows at him, but then heads back into the shop. I sigh and follow him. I'll Facebook you, Anthony says before the door closes. I smile and nod at him, bracing myself for the chaos ahead. Working at the bookshop today is the worst, because not only are people crabby about their last-minute Christmas shopping, but they're obviously also crabby about the weather and how it's ruining their Christmas. One lady actually says that she doesn't even feel like wrapping the rest of her presents. What's the point, she says. What's the point? The point is that it's Christmas. You have to wrap the presents, you just have to. At least some of the customers are nice and actually enjoy the atmosphere of the bookshop. A few of them give me recommendations, which I always love, and 3 people go out of their way to thank me for taking the time to really try and find the right book for their spouse or friend. There are still about 10 people in the store after we've locked the door. and it takes a good half hour for my parents to get them the books they want and on their way out. I just stand at the door with a mostly fake smile on my face, unlocking it, opening the door for them, and locking it again behind them as they slowly leave one by one. Once the last customer is gone and the till is in the safe, I breathe a sigh of relief. I'm so glad to finally be able to relax on the couch upstairs. But once I lie down, I immediately have to get up. The sweat on my back is making my shirt stick to me, and touching other things like the couch is making it harder to ignore. I make my way to the washroom and turn on the shower, hoping that standing under a cool stream of water will make me feel better. Anthony doesn't Facebook me that evening, so I just lie across the floor in my bra and tiny spandex shorts, trying to keep cool while I watch Christmas movies.